episode of Adding Perspective with Josh. I'm Josh.
Coach Nrgy.
Aphrodite.
Black Egypt.
Let's go. So the topic today, we're going to talk about why do people cheat? And for most points of view, especially from a relationship and a marriage standpoint, most people might think that, hey, simple reason, right? Like simple, like I cheated because of A, or I cheated because of B. Um, and to me, I guess when I ask that question, why do people cheat, especially from a relationship and marriage standpoint? There's numerous reasons. Like there's varying reasons why a person would do that. But my own personal perspective is, I say that before anybody considers something like that, there definitely needs to be a conversation before that actually happens. Right? Like that's what I think.
I agree.
Right. So it might need to be a conversation, but that still ain't explaining. Like you want to cheat, or why people cheat. So my thing is, I think they cheat because they want to cheat, but you have people make excuses like they're not getting no sex in their relationship, or they mad, or it's revenge, maybe.
Mm-hmm. It could be just feeling unappreciated, right?
Right. Neglect.
Not valued. Just want something different. Bored. You know. It's a tough question because when I seen the question, I was thinking, why do people cheat? Just in relationships in general. But then I thought about, what happens when you're married? Is it the same factor of the why as far as the perspectives?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think it is. I think it's kind of is the same perspective, and I think a lot of it depends on the person and their view on, I guess, relationships. Like how do they view their relationship? Because if a person knows that if they step out on the relationship, they have to know that that's going to hurt the other person. Like if they make that choice. So I think that sometimes people cheat for selfish reasons.
Yes. So how much they value the relationship?
I mean that's the question to me. Like if you know that if you step out either emotionally or physically on somebody, and you know that person gonna have a problem with it, and you still decide to do it, at that point you don't care. At that point you just gonna go ahead and do it. I mean,
maybe it's not that I don't care. Maybe I care enough. Like maybe I care, but maybe I don't know how to express how I feel. I care about you. It's like, can I still be in love with you and still cheat, right? Like maybe I care about you. I've even heard a perspective where if from a guy's perspective, right or wrong, I don't know. Sometimes someone stepping out actually can save the relationship. What do you think about that?
I haven't heard of that before. Where
this was a serious conversation. I was like, interesting. But what I'm saying is, we can. I'm sure someone can still be in love with someone and still cheat. But I'm sure, cheating from a guy's perspective can be a little different from a woman's perspective. I can't speak for women, but when the person said that, I kind of thought and said, I could kind of understand it where he was coming from, but just a thought to put out there.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, I think anybody can kind of say, depending on your situation, if it helps or hurts your relationship. I mean that's like a coin toss.
I know. I mean, it's different. What you think? What you thinking?
I mean, Nrgy over here deep thought, like,
what I said it, her face said,
A whole face
Like,
change.
what
Cause
do I
mine did
do?
too. I was like, I don't know.
Like,
Know
what
about
do I-
that. But I have heard somebody say they felt like it made it better, but I didn't get it deep into the conversation. So I didn't really have a perspective on it because I was like, oh, okay. Like if you felt like that, I let them have they time and they moment or whatever. But I do think it need to be a conversation. So, everybody, I mean, women, at first to me, it used to be a difference between when women would cheat and men would cheat, but I don't think that's the thing. I don't really think it's a lot of difference no more.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever been a difference between who cheats first. Like,
No, I'm not so much of
Yeah,
who cheats first, but it used to be a time, like to me personally, that I used to think that like cheating for women would take depending on the woman, it would take a lot to just step out and to, give her goods like that, but my perspective changed with that. Like the older I got and the wiser I got, I was like, they just do it because maybe that's just what they want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I would think so to a certain degree too. Miss Ma'am, you on this question, ain't you? Okay. She only focused on the question.
Oh,
Spill it.
so many
Spill the beans. Spill
so
it.
many thoughts. So to explain my facial expression, Blackie G, when you were talking, it was in regards to when you said someone can care and cheat. Those don't go together, in my opinion. However, I do agree with you because I've heard so many different excuses and people justifying it. Everything that you can think of under the sun, I've heard it, where it has actually helped a relationship because it woke one of the other people up and said, whoa, I'm going to lose this person if I don't, straighten up or change this or do whatever, So what you're saying, I've heard it, I've seen it before as well. I don't agree with that being a method of, trying to fix a problem in a relationship, but I have heard it. So I am agreeing with you there, but I was disagreeing with, can someone cheat and care at the same time? Can someone cheat and love you at the same time? It going off of those definitions of what does love mean or what does caring for someone mean, the most basic definition, in my opinion, is if a person cares for you, if they love you, they're not going to cheat on you because cheating on you is going to hurt you. So that's where my facial expression was like, I don't know about that one, but yeah.
So have you ever heard of those, I guess, those old school relationships where, somebody has been in the situation for a long time, obviously the person that they're with has cheated a few times, but they still with that person because they've been with that person for so long that they don't want to leave the person?
Yeah, because
Yes.
they're afraid to start over, or they're afraid of all the time that they've put into it, and they're not looking at all the time that they're about to continue to waste too. But yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing though. Like, I guess there's different circumstances surrounding, I guess, why people cheat, and then once a person cheats, what do you do then? Right? Like, once you know a person has cheated on you, like you're only left with choices after that, right? Like, you stay with the person, you tolerate it, you put up with it, or you seek other avenues to try to fix whatever it is, right?
Like you cheat too.
That could be for some people. Yeah.
I just, it's an option.
But what's not to back this conversation up, but some people think having an emotional relationship with people, with other people outside of their relationship is not cheating. So that's a whole debate within itself. What then you have to ask question like what they consider cheating, because they feel like, it was just something emotional. We just talked about it, like but it's in one person out there might not be cheating, and the other person out there might be.
Hence the conversation that's definitely needed during that getting
Right.
to know each other phase.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of I think that's a lot of stuff that people don't ask each other because again, you assume that the person would know certain things, right? Like you assume that the person should know that they shouldn't do this, right? But when they do that, you shocked, but you didn't ask either. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't ask the person, do you know this, right? Or do you know that this is wrong? And
Right.
I think that a lot of times in most situations, people assume that people know what the right thing to do is.
Yep.
So that comes back to, you know, our subject of what the expectation is, like what's gonna be the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, again, that's the kicker there, right? Like you have to figure out at what point you have that conversation.
At the front,
At the beginning.
at the beginning, at the top.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, when you have those what you can tolerate versus what you can't tolerate, like all that need to be involved.
Yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
But what you got?
Yeah, Black
Just
Egypt.
thinking. No. So I just to go back, I do believe that you can still be in love with someone and still and cheat. I do. I think just going back to that conversation, I remember in the conversation there was a guy who was with his girl for like 7 years, and the guy, I don't know if he knew how to communicate how he felt, or he just needed to release, and he decided to cheat. He said that if he didn't do that, he loved his wife, 100%. But he said if he wouldn't have did that, he probably would have killed himself.
Interesting. That sounds like
Now,
mental health.
I don't know the psychology of that, but I mean, this is, real experiences,
Yeah, that viewpoint in that specific example is skewed. And so to still, and I'm just saying this, not coming after what you're saying or your
Mhm.
belief of believing that a person can still care or love someone and cheat on them. But that viewpoint from that person in that example, their mindset, their mental state was already off
Mhm.
path to
Mhm.
where love and caring, they may not have, I'll say it that way, they may not have the true understanding of what those two mean in order to be able to carry it out. I'm trying to say it being gentle and respectful, but I'm and being careful with how I say it. But cheating on someone and caring for them / loving them, if I'm using the right term, is it an oxymoron? Like they're two totally different things.
That's a real question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the thing, though, right? Like when a person decides, for whatever reason, right, to step out on another person, it's not the physical act of cheating. Sometimes that's the issue or the problem that can affect your relationship. It's the problems that are created and how they spread throughout your future, right? So when you cheat on someone, the physical act of cheating starts the level of trust that's being broken inside of the relationship and with yourself too. Because people end up with trust issues when a person says that they're going to do something and you love this person and they turn out that they're lying and they cheat and it turns out
But
it affects you too.
no one's perfect, right?
Yeah.
So then we have to bring in forgiveness, right? And I mean, it still can work. I'm not saying that cheating is healthy. I'm saying that, you know, it's the reality sometimes. And, I'm just saying, just speaking on that, like, go ahead, I cut you off, but it's just a matter of, like, I believe if I was to cheat on someone, I can still love that person, and I may feel guilty, 100% guilty, and still say, you know what, I'm sorry, I apologize. That doesn't mean I stop caring about you. I stop loving you. It's just I made a mistake, right? So that's serious. That's real. So that's all.
Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
look at it from two different ways. Right? So let's look at the pros, right? Let's look at it, right? So what's the pros for somebody cheating on another person, right? Like, what's the benefit of cheating on another person?
I'm speaking for somebody
No,
out
it's
there.
fine. It's fine.
I got it right. I'm not speaking for me.
No,
I'm
that's
speaking for
fine.
the community.
No.
Some people cheat because they may really
They need some
be
new
unhappy. Yeah, they're like, hey, I gotta take that shot, take that risk. I mean, I gotta get it out of my system one more time, 2 more times, 3 more times. Listen, this is I'm speaking for other people, right? And I feel like this is, you know what I mean? This is perspective, and I think that sometimes, most of the cheating is unhealthy because it like you said, it creates so many other effects in the relationship. I mean, I don't think there's really a pro to cheating. Honestly, I just feel like people may feel like, what, I'm unhappy. I feel like I'm not valued. This person doesn't support my dreams. I'm in this relationship, and I'm not getting the sex that I would desire to the highest level that I wanted. This person I argue with too much, but we have kids, right? But I'm at work. This girl keeps flirting at me, and all of a sudden, I'm feeling some type of emotion towards her. I like her, and then it happens, right? So it's just people make these mistakes all the time, women and men.
Yeah.
But so I mean, there is no pro to that. But I think the best way is to communicate before it gets to that point, and then see if there's some type of solution before it goes to that far. But even that's a problem because we don't know how to talk to people. We don't know how to communicate. We don't know how to express our feelings. And which can cause problems because you're passive aggressive now, and now I don't want to talk about it because it makes me feel weird. So I'm gonna run and just do it.
Yeah.
And just deal with the consequences. Sorry.
No,
Hey,
that's real. That's real conversation right there.
That's real stuff. So, what are the cons to cheating then? Like, what are the negative points to a person being like cheated on, right? Because to start it off, like, it's probably gonna be hard for you to trust somebody after that, like it is.
Yep.
Trauma. You're creating trauma now in someone else's life.
Then not counting the fact that you might bring a child.
Yep.
That too.
You're breaking up a family if there are children involved.
And then you're gonna bring another child on top of that. Yep.
That too.
Because it does happen.
Okay.
Now you got two families that's really broken because, as a female, majority of the time, they don't want to be bothered with it take a lot to be bothered with a baby you created outside of a marriage. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And you trying to even though you asking me to forgive you and we moving past in this marriage, we moving forward in the marriage, but you also asking me to accept a child that you created with another woman outside of this marriage. Yeah, that's not.
You gotta be a strong person right there.
You do.
Yeah, but it happens.
It does.
I'm not that guy.
I think that puts people in a weird spot because when a person finds out that the other person is cheating on them, it puts you. I guess it would put you in such a weird headspace where you have to make choices at that point. Like you have to make choices about your life and your relationship at that moment when you find out. Like you have to consider, hey, what do I do with this now? Now that I know, like what I do. Like,
right.
Do I stay? Do I hang out? Like, do I try to fix it? But
listening to, having conversations and different other people's perspective, from a female perspective, a lot of women have stayed because they felt like they couldn't like leave at that moment or at that time, especially if he was the breadwinner. Like he was maintaining the household, you know. So here we are married with 3 kids, and he maintained the whole household. So like she might feel like, you know, right now she could, you know, at that moment, I heard plenty of women say, I stayed because I just couldn't maintain the household at the time, you know, with the kids and all this kind of stuff. So people have so many different reasons why they stay. Are they cool reasons? To them, it might be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some things I don't agree with, you know, when it comes down to that. Or it could be that they just don't have the strength to move. Cause I have heard that before too. Like I couldn't muster up the strength to actually move forward at that time of that moment. But I do think it becomes a time where they depending on who the person or the female, they do be like, oh, I'm gone. Like they have a quitting point. Some of them do.
So my thing is, if you stay or if you choose to stay in a relationship where a person has cheated on you, right, and broken your trust, do you still have the right to be mad? Okay, because if you chose, right, if you chose to stay in a relationship where you know that that person has hurt you, do you still have the right to be mad at that person the entire time you still with that person if you chose to stay there?
So the thing is, if we talked about it, we had a conversation about it, we agreed that we're gonna move forward, but this cannot happen again.
Okay.
And it happened again. So like I'm probably gonna bring up the 5 times. Like I'm just being honest. Like you gonna get like every bit of it. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, you know, because that's like pouring salt in a wound.
Yeah.
You know, that's haven't even healed. So I'm healing from your first encounter with cheating. Yeah. Then you go and do it again. And like, no. Do you? I think you do. I think you probably should. You do need to forgive. But how many people actually stop talking about that like after it happened? You know, like, yeah, they probably gonna hear it for a long, long time, like a very long time. I'm sure they will.
Hey.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Hey. I mean, my opinion is a little different, right? Because honestly, if a person chooses to stay with somebody and you know that the person has done something to you that you're gonna remember, like you're not gonna forget it. Like even though you forgive the person, you're not gonna forget the fact that this person did this to you. There's various reasons why a person would talk themselves into, staying, and that's fine because everybody's entitled to the way that they feel, right? Like everybody's entitled to whatever emotion you feel from whatever situation that happened to you. But the thing about cheating is that that's one person making a choice to say that I'm going to do this despite your feelings, like despite how you feel. So it's like for you, in your own emotions about the situation, you staying in the situation sometimes with that person is only sometimes it's almost like a memory playing back in your head every day. Like you see that person every single day. Like you see how that has affected you every single day. And unless you have some type of concrete plan to deal with those emotions, it's like being in a torture chamber. Like you're basically your own worst enemy at a point because you're playing that memory, that motion, like back in your head the whole entire time. To me, that's what I think, right? And I'm not saying that, people should just like leave a person or anything like that, but I'm just saying like if you choose to take a person back, you need to consider what is your plan going to be to manage those emotions.
100%. To answer your question, does a person who stays have a right to be angry or mad or whatever. Yeah, they have that right.
Yeah.
However, should they exercise that right is a difference, it's a different story. Because once a person has cheated on you, they've shown you who they are, they've shown you their character. And if you choose to still accept them for who they are, that's completely fine. But then you're accepting the new relationship that you all have to now create. And so bringing up the past, continuing to hang on to those hurt feelings, those angry feelings, is not going to be conducive to the new relationship that you all now have to create. And I keep saying new relationship because once cheating has taken place, that relationship, that marriage as it once stood is dead. It no longer can exist the way that it was. It now has to, start fresh, and a new relationship or a marriage has to be created. To answer the original question, why do people cheat? It's because of it, they're showing you who they are. I'm bringing it in right now because I'm repeating what I just said. People are showing you their character. It's a choice that they make. Cheating is an action. Cheating is not a mistake. Mistakes are things that you do that you're doing without knowing that you're doing it. It's something that's unconsciously or subconsciously, whichever one is the proper term. Something that happens in that sense. But cheating is a choice. Like, you're having these inappropriate conversations with the other person. You know that you're either physically about to do something, or you're emotionally connecting and emotionally cheating in that aspect with someone that's not your partner. And so people cheat because of selfishness. People cheat because of lack of commitment. They just simply were not fully committed to the other person, and they were not fully committed to the relationship itself. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's also deeply rooted into just who a person is, their character. And some people have it in them to cheat, other people don't. Some people will walk away before cheating, other people won't.
They already cheated either way, right?
Say it again?
I'm just thinking about what you said. You said emotionally cheated, but not physically. I'm
Not
thinking
said
like,
either way, because cheating, it can be either physical or emotional.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What's interesting about I guess what you were just saying is that I was thinking of a scenario, right? Like, because and this is like something that's so common that I heard, when one person or the other person feels like um they feel like the other person is not like listening to them, or they don't feel like they're valued, or they don't feel like they're understood, or they don't feel like um, they feel isolated and alone in the relationship, right? When a person feels like that, and that could either be the man or the woman, and a lot of times that's the case, right? Like, a lot of times before a person even cheats, they try to fix the problem, right? Like, they try to talk to the person, they try to, reason with the person. They try to say, "Hey, why don't we just do counseling, right? Or why don't we try, going here and stuff like that." And a lot of times when people try these things, you know, it takes a few times, right? Like, people go to third party professional, whatever, and you have those people that go to numerous people, right, to kind of fix their relationship, and it doesn't take, right? So even after those people, even after those individuals do that, do you think that after all that excuses may give a person an excuse to cheat after they tried all of this, after they tried all the stuff to fix their relationship? Do you think that gives people an excuse to cheat after that?
So I want to make sure I understood when you said, so when they go into different people, are they like successful? Are they committed? Because that makes a difference. Like, you can go to different counselors, therapists, psychologists, or whatever, and that does not mean the person was truly committed to that particular process.
Correct.
So that's a conversation within itself, because okay, we going here, then we going to another one, then we going to another one, then we going to another. So at what point, because one thing I must say is you do have to find the right fits. every counselor, therapist, or whatever may not be the fit for you and your partner. So you do have to find the right fit so it would be conducive to you and your partner, right? Mm-hmm. So, but now that you found the right fit, are you going to be really committed to the process of making it better, of healing and moving forward?
Yeah.
Because at that point, if we had a discussion and we said we committed to this process and we committed to the healing and moving forward, then you go back and do something. Oh, that's a wrap. That's done. That's a done deal. We ain't got no more conversation. We ain't going no more therapists. We ain't talking about all the other stuff. Like that's, even though you already showed me who you are and you asked me to give you another try, you asked me to forgive you, and then you go back and do that. That's no. And we don't went to find therapists, psychologists, trying to find a good fit. Like we don't did all this stuff, and you still no. Because it's really not, it's a lack of commitment. You're not really committed to the process. You're not committed to me. You're not committed to the person that you're with. You're not committed to them. That is not, I don't know what people consider what love is or whatever the situation is, but love is not for you to continue to hurt me. That's not how the process works. Because let's say we flip that thing around. Then I just go ahead and be petty and do you. Okay? Like, let's talk about it.
I've seen it happen. I've seen the scenario.
Because it's out there. Let's talk about it. So that's what you want to do, huh? Because sometimes people will hurt people. Like, let's just be honest. Hurt people will hurt people. And when I say hurt people, like they get a little bit deeper. Okay, so you went and cheated with Sally, right? So I'm gonna get Larry, your brother, over here. Let's work that out. Like, let's be honest. That's what it.
I agree.
Larry was already in the mix. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
He was in the DM the other day. Like, let's be honest. So no, like. That means you wasn't really committed. You cannot be committed to the process, then turn around and say, oh, I slipped up and had that accident again. Lie. That's not true.
Mistake.
Oh, mistake. I'm sorry. Because, they use, no, that's not a mistake.
Yeah.
No.
The first one was a mistake. The second one could be a mistake, too.
Yeah, you're right. He slipped. They slipped.
That's not a slip. They slipped in. That's what they did.
I'm just using the words they use, okay? That's all I'm doing. It's a mistake. My bad.
Let Nrgy bring it back and let you know what a mistake is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that hurts my nerves.
A mistake.
I slipped, okay?
Oh my gosh.
They slipped. Yeah, they did.
Oh my gosh.
We can slip together. How about that?
Because that's not taking ownership of what you've done. I cannot stand it when people say, oh, it was a mistake. No, it wasn't. You knew what you were doing. You took the actions, you took the steps to make that thing happen the way that it did. Take ownership. Don't cower out now. Like, nah, you knew what you were doing when you were having your fun. Now that it's all said and done, now you want to, try to, nah, I don't like that.
The Patty come along. Oh, Patty.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Some people will even be a coward and won't even tell you they cheated. They'll just find a reason to break up with you.
After the fact. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? That might be a good thing for them because you never know who you're dealing with and what their emotional states are. So I don't condone it. Like, that's what you want to do, but it might be a good thing for them. As you know, people they a little crazy. They a little crazy.
Yeah, you don't play with nobody's heart.
You just can't play with people's feelings and emotions and stuff like that. You just cannot do it because, those are conversations like if you want to be in an open relationship, it's possible. It's plenty of people like open relationships.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, like I said, I think that even with that part, I mean, people like to know things up front. Like, you want to have an open relationship, you need to say that in the beginning. Like,
Right.
you say that's like, yes,
Yes.
yeah, like,
Give me a
where
choice.
you
I
grow?
want to be open. Because
Where
like
you
you ain't gonna be
grow?
open by yourself. Come on now,
Yeah.
Demetrius. We're gonna be open together.
What if you kind of grow a little bit and be like, I kind of want to try this, and you wasn't thinking about it up front, right? It's just one of those things that you had reservations about, and now it's like,
okay.
let me communicate that. There's so many different scenarios.
Do you think
Okay,
so
Josh is like, now you
okay, Josh, he got a good point though. So
okay, I understand that, but my point is, if you have a hard time pleasing one person, what makes you think that you ain't gonna have a hard time pleasing two people? You know what I'm saying, right? Like, don't invite more people in when you're struggling on the one person. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. Okay, like,
who said they were struggling though?
Hey, look,
okay.
but think about it though, right? Right, everybody in the way that they operate, especially in that area, is not above average. If you think about it, right? Like, if you honestly think about it, so the majority of the people that, and this is just my opinion, the majority of the people that inspire to have the polyamorous stuff and all that other kind of stuff, I think the main reason people do that is because they don't feel as fulfilled in their relationship with that one person. Like, because if you were 100% fulfilled with that one person, do you really think that you would just be considering like bringing in somebody else? Hey.
I was told that helps,
Hey, I was told if you find that right one,
you stick with it.
Stick with it.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Pickings are slim out here. Right.
Very.
I'm just saying, man. Shoot, you got a good thing going. Don't rock that boat.
That's why they listen. That's why they do. That's why they do it, right? Because one person had this, and the other person had it, and then the other person had it. So we just bring that thing as one big family, and we good.
Right.
Okay.
Listen, we just said it was slim, so they just had to put a package deal together. That's all.
Okay. Well, we turned this into a whole other conversation. I'll tell you that. Okay.
Oh goodness.
So let's summarize this cheating thing, right? Like,
okay.
The why do certain people cheat? And to me, I think that there's numerous reasons why people would cheat. But I think the overall consensus is, cheating. Someone cheating on somebody else is not a good thing. Like, that's never a good thing. That's never the first option to say that, hey, I'm gonna step out on my relationship and consider someone else before you actually try to have a genuine conversation with the person that you're with. Because nothing kind of nothing is going to be better than actually trying to have a conversation with the person that you're with to try to fix any of the situations that are happening in your relationship. So the thing about having that conversation though is that if a person comes to you and say, hey, I don't feel fulfilled by XYZ, the biggest thing about having that conversation is time and place is one thing. All right, like, pick the correct time and place to have that conversation. Two, both parties have to keep an open mind about what's being said. Because if a person feels like, pretty much, if you feel like you're offended by it, or if you feel like you take it personal or something like that, then that limits the opportunity for a solution to be created, right? Because the main purpose of that conversation is to create solutions. Therefore, none of that even happens, right? Like, you don't even want any of that stuff happening. But to me, no one's situation is perfect. So if there's not ongoing conversations about how to fix things and how to make things better, then to me, that's how people, I think, get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
What you guys think?
I would say, for the cheater, or the before cheater, right? before you decide to go that route, you know, I would say definitely communicate how you feel. You know, don't dig in your bag of tricks and do something you may regret. So just consider the person you will hurt, and you know the relationship you will hurt, and even your kids. Uh, Keep that in consideration. Just be thoughtful. And the best thing is, I think, is to just have the conversation of the thing that you may feel like is missing or in the relationship. Simple as that. You know, be a man about it. Mm.
Boom.
Wrong.
Facts. Energy, you got something to add to this?
Whew. Yeah, I wanted to eat this topic. Oh man,
There
but
we go.
oh my gosh. There's no such thing as a mistake, not when it comes to cheating. Cheating is a choice. Um, when a person cheats, it's them showing you who they are deep down on the inside, who they are to their core. Yes, people can change. However, if a person cheats on you, uh, you have to then determine where your values lie. Do you value yourself enough to either do something about it, change the situation, whatever the case may be? Whatever you decide to do, there's no right or wrong answer. For those who do the actual cheating, just think twice about it, because it really does add on stressors to people. And we as individuals, every single day, we're dealing with way too much on our plates anyway, to then have someone whom we think we love and who says that they love us to then step out and hurt us in that way. It just adds too much more onto, you know, our plates in this thing that we call life. So, you know, make the right decision. If you truly love someone, if you truly care for someone, before cheating on them, walk away. Definitely have those conversations first. See if you can communicate it. See if you both can then work together to um, to take care of or alleviate whatever the issues are. But if not, if you've given it your all, then walk away. Because if you truly love someone, you'll walk away before just hurting them blatantly. Coach Nrgy. Thanks.
Coach Energy.
Signing out. All right. Okay. Aphrodite, what you got?
Well, I think everyone summed it up. Like, those are great points, and it is the truth. Before you decide to cheat, I do believe you before you make that decision, give that person the decision whether or not they want to accept what you have going on. Conversation does need to be had. At the end of the day, if you really love them, you will walk away.
All right. So, in another healthy episode of Adding Perspective with Josh. I'm Josh.
Coach Nrgy.
Aphrodite.
Okay.
I'm Black Egypt. One thing to add to that.